Shoe, I've abducted you from the general chat.
Me?
Yep, I can hear you. How you doing?
Hey, hi. What's up? I have to preface this with the fact that I am extremely high right now.
I'm a little bit stoned as well.
Okay, I took a little corner of an edible, right? Like a medical edible.
I'm actually hitting the, I'm not gonna take another hit because my girlfriend will kill me. But, she doesn't like it when I smoke weed on stream, but
right.
I'm hitting these little cartridges of concentrate. That's usually how I like to get nice and stoned. But so it seems like you become aware of the ThoughtSlime sex cult drama.
I have. So the first time I heard about this, ThoughtSlime's had me blocked for like, I don't even know, 2 years now, like a really long time. But the first time I heard about this was actually from him. And he was like, just started tweeting, like subtweeting you. I was like, who the fuck is he talking about? Who did this? And then he said Xanderhal in the reply to someone, and I'm like, what? The fuck? He's got a sex cult? What's going on? And I had to like go through internet telephone to like find out the truth. But yeah.
It's kind of weird that you know, ThoughtSlime accused me of being so cool, you know?
I know, like, okay, my lore's like terrible. It's like either just bizarre or like really boring. Your lore's like cool. It makes you sound cooler than you actually.
Yeah, oh, Zan, I hate you so much. You get lots of pussy.
You got laid.
Yell at him for it, my fans, yeah. Something that worries me is that it feels like lately, especially, because I've been foretelling for a while now that I think we're going on a full cycle back towards like a sort of, not a repeat, like everything's going to be the same, but almost like a soft reboot of how politics was from 2014 to 2016. I feel like we're gonna, or 2017. I think we're gonna see something not too dissimilar to Gamergate coming up pretty soon, and I feel like the behavior I'm seeing from people like ThoughtSlime is contributing to making the left resemble something more like what it did back during those days when there wasn't really all that good representation of lefty ideas. There was just constant easy react bait on the part of like lefties everywhere, and I feel like ThoughtSlime is contributing to that right now.
Well, the environment's set up the same. We have a Democratic president, and like Obama was president when I first started doing YouTube and everything, doing, you know, SJW pwn shit. So it's the same. We're under Democrat rule right now. Biden's kind of being goofy and fucking up, but you know, like you are saying like, oh, ThoughtSlime's contributing to this. I don't think so. I think that's such a tiny little portion of it. Have you seen TikTok?
Oh god, yeah. I think TikTok's where it's really going to be happening for the most part.
Yeah, like there are very, you know, I'm not gonna, like, these are kids, most of them, but they're very cringe, doing cringe shit. And on TikTok, you have the React bros, right? Just like there was, like, Bearing and me and, like, all those people who will, like, react to those cringy TikToks. And it's basically, like, the same thing happening over there. So, I don't know about YouTube, though. I don't know if that will happen. Not sure.
I think it depends on how YouTube handles their moderation. Like, obviously, like, I don't know if that type of content would even be monetizable anymore, to the same degree. Like, the amount of abstraction that you have to do with your titles and the words you use in your videos now, like, in any video, to not just get demonetized to hell is insane. Like, I don't think a video called, like, feminist gets mad about man spreading on train, shits herself, and dies live on camera in 4K. I don't know if those types of titles would pass anymore on the internet. Though I will say, I really wish YouTube was still like that, even to this day. I know it'd be better for the right, but it would also be good for me, because I'd really love to be a lot edgier.
Do it over?
Something that's so sad to me is that I was just too young to get involved in politics back when all of that was happening.
Yeah. You were like 16 or whatever? How old were you? Like,
so I'm
18?
22 now. Generally, like, you could, like, halfway through the year, my age is the same as that year. The latter half of any year, my age is the same as that year.
Okay, that's fucking math, and I'm really high. Can you just tell me how old you are?
I was 16 back then. Yeah.
All right, there you go. That's hilarious. I was like 23, 24 when that all started.
People meme about it, but I feel like you look younger now.
I wore a lot more makeup back then. Like, I would do it all around my eyes, and now I just kind of do it on the top of my eyes, and like, that wasn't a good look. Nobody told me it wasn't a good look though, and now I'm just like, why did I do that? Nobody told me. Like,
wait, like the 2016 era?
Yeah, like further back than that. I think I started
further
better. During, like,
okay, because whenever I imagine like Shoe0nHead, all I think of is like the wings. Yeah. I feel like it's always kind of what you've had down.
Yeah, I'll never stop doing the wings, but yeah, what the fuck were you talking about?
We're both high. Oh god, we're both so high. Oh no, and we both have ADHD. This is a nightmare. No. Oh god. Actually, speaking of which, I actually tomorrow have to call. I made my first ever appointment with like a therapist or whatever a few days ago, and I actually have to call to set up my first appointment, and I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was a kid, so I'm hoping to get like re-diagnosed and have that reaffirmed as an adult, and maybe get prescribed some medication for it, because I have like a huge issue with getting just thrown off topic when I'm talking on stream. It's ridiculous. So proud of you, Zan. Yeah, I did it, Cherry. I actually did it all on my own. Yeah. Wait, are you there, Shoe? I think we lost her. See, this is why you got to get a PC. Can you turn Shoe's volume up a bit? She's really quiet and you're louder in comparison. Really? It looked a bit more like balanced in the audio department on my screen. But yeah, I turned her up to like 9%. 9 more percentages.
Hello?
Oh, there you are. What happened?
I don't know. I think my internet just like pooped out.
Oh crap. I feel like you live in like New York, right?
Yeah.
In the city or in like the
Long Island, literally like just suburbia.
Okay. I always thought that you lived like in New York City. I don't know why.
Everyone always assumes that when you tell them that you're from New York, they're like, "Oh, do you see celebrities a lot?" Like, no. I'm just in the middle of like fucking nowhere.
Yeah, to be fair. Oh wait, my internet kind of died too. Huh, that's weird. Yeah, I guess I get sort of the same thing. I live like in the equivalent, I guess, which is like an hour away from LA. And I do sometimes get people asking like, how many celebrities do you see? Mm-hmm. Only I do I haven't seen any celebrities, but you do actually see a lot of them out here because you should visit Palm Springs someday. It's a nice place. It's just this like oasis city in the middle of the desert in this valley, and it's like I would be willing to bet that 30 to 40%, if not more, of the population is are like older gay men.
Uh-huh. That's
awesome. It's a lot of like dual income, no children, like the gay couples out there. It's just really nice houses and stuff all over the place. And I hope to God that one day I'll make enough money from doing YouTube to afford one of those houses. Yeah, but that's the grind right now. Every time I go outside, like right across the street, I see these nice ass condos that all these old gay men live in, and I'm like, oh, one day I'm gonna make that dual income, no kids money from YouTube. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, right now I live with my parents since the pandemic hit. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna move back in with them because I lived alone, like upstate New York for like almost 2 years. And the pandemic hit and I was like, alright, you know, I want to be with my family. And I've been here now for like 2 years, just like in my room.
That's smart.
Yeah, it's fun. I love my family though, they're based. But like, where I live, Long Island, it's like, you can't drive like 2 houses without seeing like a thin blue line flag. Like, it's all like cop lovers and like old fucking Republicans here. And it's just like hilarious. Like, when you think of New York, you think of like a blue state, but no, Long Island's like red as fuck. Everyone loves There's Trump flags all the time. We had a fucking Trump parade over the summer. It's so funny, but I don't know where I want to move next. I have no idea.
I've really enjoyed California. Ready for some tendies? Hell yeah, Lonnie. Yeah, I mean, so living with your, I want to actually acknowledge that for a minute, because I think this is something that some people in the audience might actually get something out of. There's absolutely nothing wrong with living with your parents if you have the opportunity. Yeah. I really wish I had that option. Unfortunately, I don't have that backup plan, but like being able to just like ideally have a place to live where you don't have to worry about paying bills and everything, because my god,
pay for some things, but
oh yeah, I imagine, but still, like if you have the opportunity to not have to pay bills, take it. Because being able to save up money for a while is great, because a lot of the time if you're working like paycheck to paycheck, which is like what 40, 50, 60% of Americans, too damn many, you're just not ever able to save any money. You've got no savings. And so sometimes it's good to live with your parents for a while and or live with somebody for a while, not have to pay for anything and save money.
This is just Italian culture too. We basically just fucking generation and generation live in the same house.
My mom actually just like not today, like the day after yesterday or maybe yesterday gave me some Polaroids of my grandma, or not my grandma, my great grandma and my grandma in Italy. Or no, it was my great grandma in Italy. Yeah. I've got Sicilian. I'm Sicilian.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, I have some
dope.
Sicilian. I'm like Northern Italian. I'm like Florence, but
it's a nice place.
I'm the only one in my family who hasn't been to Italy.
I've never left America. One day I will. I just have to get
America? Damn.
No, you got to get a passport and have money to do that.
That's true.
Like that's like expensive and is a long process. I am working on getting a passport though. It's just it does take a while. But eventually, like the first place I'm probably going to visit is probably going to be Mexico, and then after that probably Canada, and then I don't know where from there.
Mexico's nice. I went for my 21st birthday, which is stupid because you have to be like 18 to drink there, so it doesn't even matter. Anyway, I took like 2 shots in the Mexico hotel, and I fucking like threw up, and I was like, I'm never drinking again.
Oh, wait. That reminds me, I know it's not related to the sex cult drama, but I did a live event where I met internet people from real life over the weekend in Texas. Probably got COVID. I'm just waiting to wake up one morning with my lungs feeling like they're full of whipped cream. But I met some people. I met Destiny and Infrared in real life. I introduced myself to Infrared, but just I remember sitting in the audience watching them debate and just thinking, "Holy fuck! I can't believe they're real."
Yeah, we're like, "Whoa, they're real people." It's like crazy.
Welcome to
I'm still not over that.
I every single time. Okay.
Has donated
every
$40 asterisk.
Whoa,
I'm drinking a Monster Energy.
Capitalism, my dude.
People are donating, yeah. I'm drinking a Monster Energy right now because I need to wake myself up a little bit. I need to sober up a little.
Oh, I don't even have one. I have to buy one.
Coffee helps too.
Yeah.
Coffee, like for me, kills a high almost instantly. Like it gets rid of it instantly. Even if I'm like sickly high, and I get sick from smoking weed. Like I get nauseous.
How many times have you thrown up on stream?
How many times from weed or how many times from alcohol?
Oh my god. Both.
Like 3 times, twice maybe? 3 times? Yeah, 3 times. Not, though, to be fair, one of those times I ended stream and then ran to my bathroom and didn't make it in time.
Oh god.
I think one of those times is counted as that. Or that might actually be kind of a 4th. I don't know. I'm
so scared to stream. I'm gonna start soon. I'm just like,
I promise you vomiting on stream isn't a common occurrence. I just push it too much.
Vomiting? Just in general, because it's like live. Anything could happen.
I'm like, well, there is a lot of worry about that, surprisingly. As long as you're careful, not much will like happen. Something you always want to do though is if you're going to Google anything or like go into any pages, you always want to switch to your full camera screen because you never know what could pop up. Like you don't know if some website has like your address saved in like your.
So that happened to me. I was doing a brainlet thing during the primaries, and there was this pop-up ad that literally had my full fucking address in it. And I was like, nobody noticed, and it's gone now. But, holy fuck, that was like, alright. Jesus Christ.
Amazon has a tendency to dox people's names. A lot of streamers
Yeah.
have had their names doxed. That's how Vosh got his name doxed. Was he brought an Amazon page up? He was like looking for someone sent him a link to like a camera or a microphone. He opened it. It was an Amazon link right at the top of the page. His fucking name. Yeah, God, like meeting content creators that you know over the internet in real life is always so bizarre to me because. And I'm not referring to height here. I'm referring to like just the amount of area people take up is always feels bigger when you meet them in real life. Because when you see people and they're so tiny on your screen, so when you meet them in real life, it's like, oh my God, you take up so much more space than I thought you would.
Yeah. No, that's hilarious. I feel the same way. If like you've talked to them for a long time though, it's almost no different than when you're online. But if someone who you barely talk to, it's like.
I don't know. I feel like the more you talk to them, the weirder it is. The only online content creators that I've met in real life so far would have to be Denims, Dylan Burns, Ben Burgess, Destiny. I didn't get to introduce myself to Infrared, which is sad, but I mean I saw him. Infrared. I met some other. I'm trying to remember everybody else. Like obviously, Actual Justice Warrior, Hake, T-Jump. T-Jump's really nice. He's a chill dude. Like I met all those people, and overall, across the board, I was like, God, everybody looks like different in real life. I think I look better looking in real life. Which I think
I like seeing myself in a mirror. I feel like I look normal, and then in like pictures and videos and shit, I swear to God, the camera like steals my soul. And I'm just
because it's 480p.
Yeah, no.
It's a $30 camera. What do you expect?
I just mean like selfies and stuff. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I gotta like take a million selfies until like I like one. I fucking hate the way I look on camera, which is like why the fuck would I take this as a job? Yeah, but. No, I mean,
I have never, at least not since I was like 18, have I been all that self-conscious about my looks. It's just not something that's concerned me all that much. Particularly like once I became a streamer or a YouTuber, it's like I take a selfie of myself. If I think I look okay, then I post it. And for the most part, nobody's really going to talk that much shit. Though then again, the expectations for guys are quite a bit lower. You know, it's a little bit easier, you know, like I can just like brush let me tell you what I did to get ready for stream today. I woke up. I smoked a little weed to get rid of the morning headaches. Then I watched YouTube for 2 hours, scheduled my stream, played some Halo Infinite, brushed my hair, put on a shirt, kept on the same pajamas I wore to sleep last night, and just brushed my eyebrows aside a little bit and started stream. There we go.
Simple. I have a feeling when I start streaming, I'm just gonna be trying less and less. I'm just gonna be like in my pajamas with like no makeup, like, hey guys. Fuck it.
Eventually, you'll have to get to that point. Though, to be fair, like every woman streamer that I know about that like makes content on a daily basis, even, holy shit, they like wake up at 6 a.m. to put on like because they have to wake up so early to get ready to like because there's so many expectations for women online like in terms of looks to get ready for their stream. Like not that she really does all that much. Like she just kind of like throws on some makeup whenever she gets ready for stream. Whenever we had her here, but like when I met Denims, it's like her schedule is she wakes up at like 6 a.m. and it's like, well, okay. I mean, I guess when you wake up, I'll go to bed. And whenever we had her over here, I was like, when you wake up, I'll go to bed, and you can just use my computer to stream on while you're here. Just absolutely, I'm on that degenerate schedule compared to most people.
No, I'm like a vampire. It's really bad. There was this time where I was like going to bed at like 8 a.m. every day.
I'm jealous. You can though. You get to though, because like I get to a lot more than most people do. But for me, I have to stream at a certain time. Like I can't just stream at any time. I got to stream when people are awake. So I at the very least have to operate on a somewhat normal schedule. But you have like I assume like what you do is you upload prepared content and then you have like Patreon and ad revenue. Yeah, you could technically just like operate completely nocturnally and you're fine.
Yeah. Well, it's not good like for health reasons. It's like I wake up and it's dark. That's fucking like sad. That's like depressing. Yeah, but I have like terrible, what is it, winter depression? I have depression in general, but it's like worse in the winter. So that's just like fucking awful. I can't live in the vampire world. I gotta like force myself to operate on a normal human time.
That's why you gotta move to like California or something. All right.
Yeah.
Like when I walk outside out here, right now it's winter here. To give you an idea, there is like usually not a cloud in the sky, so it's nice and sunny, like 60 to 75 degrees, and we're surrounded by mountains that are all snow-capped, but we're in the desert.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I went to Arizona for TPUSA. Arizona was so nice. The weather was weird though, because it was like sort of cool, like the wind was cool when there was wind. Barely any wind. But it was, like,
yeah, weather in the
hot.
desert's bizarre.
Yeah. It was nice though. I'd move like somewhere like that.
Don't go to Arizona.
Why?
Like frankly, Arizona is well,
Shitty.
what the fuck is there to do in Arizona? Like,
I don't know. What
like,
I don't do anything anyway. I literally just like chill in my house.
that is true. But I mean, you get the same effect as Arizona if you live like somewhere like well, you wouldn't want to live in LA, but somewhere like around LA. So you have like you're in proximity of like people that you'd probably want to be in proximity of if you're around LA, because if you're online and you do internet stuff online, you want to be near LA. Like Flagstaff, for example, apparently is a place near that. I don't know enough about California.
Yeah.
I've only lived here for like 2 years, and I'm acting like I know it. My job, I've literally left the house probably like 40 times in the last 2 years I've been here, okay?
Yeah.
Like, maybe, well, more than that, but still. Yeah, but it's wild. I mentioned this earlier when I was covering the what was I covering? I think it was just talking about like how I think that we're gonna see another sort of Flagstaff is in Arizona. All right, well, you know, there it is. That's me not knowing my geography. I mentioned this earlier whenever I was covering something on stream and you were in chat, but when I was like 16 years old, I was watching your content and sort of like getting into politics from that. And now I'm like doing content myself and sort of and now you and I are friends, which is pretty nuts. And
there are like a few streamers like you that are like,
Welcome to
I grew up
capitalism,
watching you and now I'm a streamer.
Asterisk Young Neil asterisk
like,
has donated
that's
asterisk
horrifying.
$50.
oh,
I'm like responsible for you now. Like, oh no, I created this thing.
I don't know if it's creation, but definitely influence, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say probably for the better. I've talked about this on stream a few times. I think that, and I wish I could bring this up in hindsight with like a lot of the arguments I've had with people about this, but back during that time, they're just like the content that you were making back then was about as left-leaning as any sane content online that talked about politics outside of like Kyle Kalinske and the Young Turks.
Yes, I was just gonna say.
Was.
So there was no like culture war people on the left. There were people who were covering elections and stuff like Kyle and the Young Turks, of course. But yeah, like when I think back, ContraPoints joined a little later on. There was nobody. There was me, Chris, TJ. Well, in the beginning, it was just TJ, Internet Aristocrat, Sargon, me, and like V and Mundane Matt. That was like it. And then Gamergate hit. And it was like an influx of people. It was like insane. But there was no one on the left that I could think of. Like nobody.
Yeah.
It was like Christy Winters. And we
not the best representative on that side of things.
Kevin Logan. A few other people.
Not very good then either.
We're still... Well, I don't know about Kevin. I don't know if he's on like a cool arc now, but...
Last I heard, he'd said or done something that I approved of.
Okay, well, I'll leave him out of this, but most of them are still terrible to this day.
Yeah, it is. It's wild. I remember like my first and last interaction with Christy Winters was so wild. I think she'd said something like, sorry, I just chugged an entire monster. she'd said something negative about Bernie Sanders during the primary, something about Bernie Sanders fans being sexist or something like that.
Me and her, the whole primary, we were at each other's throats.
No, I remember. It was great. I was like arguing with her, and I said like, "Hey, would you like to come on stream and we can talk about it?" And then she said, "So you can do your moral grandstanding like Vosh or Sargon of Akkad. No, thank you," and then blocked me.
What?
Like weird two people to compare. Is it because they have beards?
My favorite my favorite Christy Winter's quote during the primaries was fucking saying I was bad because like I didn't want wars, but she like framed it in the sense like, oh, she doesn't want to help the brown people or spread democracy. Spread democracy. That's what we're calling it. No, that was good. She doesn't want to spread democracy in Iran or whatever.
Why do so many people pretend like you can be a progressive and like America and still acknowledge that, you know, our military is perhaps a little bit, you know, overfunded, you know, maybe it goes a little too hard.
Yeah.
Maybe we're kind of doing a little bit of some imperialism around.
No.
Yeah, but
did you see her and Jake's fight? When Jake was like, "Do you want me to suck your dick?" to Christy, and she was like, "That's misogynistic."
Wait, actual Jake?
Actual Jake said to Christy, "What do you want me to do? Like suck your dick?" And she was
Wait,
like,
what's the context?
Sexist.
I'm so confused.
I have no idea. They were having a fight, and he was like, "What do you want me to do to like make it better or whatever?" And he like just awkwardly said that, and it was funny. And Christy was like, "That's sexist." Like offering to suck your dick that you don't have is I don't know. It was very funny.
I mean, if I were to guess by Christy Winter's logic, I'd assume that making a comment that's like, well, I guess it's not vaguely, but making a sexual comment, even if it's a obvious joke that is very clearly not to be meant in a negative context, is, I guess, inappropriate to say towards a woman who makes content. Just I don't know.
I don't know. It was funny though, and he was like, "What?" And then Jake, I think, cornered her and was like, "Can't like women?" I don't know. This is not the exact quote. I don't want to say she's transphobic or whatever. She's not. But she said something like, "Oh, like implied women can't have dicks," and like Jake was like, "How do you know that?" And she's like, "Do I have to get you a biology book or something?" And everyone was like, "Oh, okay, Christy."
Wait, did she get like turfy or like how?
People
bad
were
was
assumed
it?
she was getting turfy, but
okay.
she was probably just like having a boomer moment or something.
Yeah, I mean, like,
funny.
I wouldn't be. She like fits the demographic to be a TERF, but like
she
I don't.
Looks like one. I know that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
to say.
you can tell though. Like,
down.
you know how like you can kind of tell what someone's personality is just kind of by looking at them sometimes. You know, like, oh, bob haircut, that's a Karen. You know, you just know a Karen when you see them.
End before your forehead. I know your political opinions. You don't have to tell me them. Basically. No.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's just a certain degree where you can kind of tell. And I feel like Christy Winters would fit there, but here's the thing. TERFs can never shut the fuck up about being TERFs.
Yeah.
So there's no way that after this many years we wouldn't know about it by now if she was.
Yeah. Nah, she's not a TERF. She's just a fucking liberal feminist. Just good for her. She's been keeping up the fight for years.
Honestly, like, I imagine she probably went through some pretty rough shit back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
To be real,
to
be a left-wing figure back then.
Yeah, you were a lightning rod. There was
God.
Yeah.
I feel I am nostalgic for it sometimes because there was a certain like I don't want to say like ignorance is bliss necessarily, but there was a certain sort of ignorant bliss to the feeling of like, okay, it's like us versus the SJWs, you know, we're trying to preserve, like, we like edgy humor, we like to be able to like goof off and have a fun time, and we want to make sure that like we don't see like our favorite media get twisted and morphed into something different just for the sake of like appeasing a certain audience, not for the sake, like it felt so much more both, it almost felt fun because it felt so low stakes, but now as an adult it's like, encroaching worry of fascism,
Yes, exactly.
class divide,
So-
the goddamn wealth inequality, coronavirus. Like,
So, like, the thing I say with my channel is, like, I don't really, like, regret my old content unless it was, like, terribly, terribly bad, but all the videos now that are up, the biggest crime about them is how serious and passionate I am about the dumbest shit. I watch it, I'm like, why the fuck did I care this much? But it's like the goofiest shit. But like at the time, we all really, really cared about it. It was like really important. Because I don't know, was anything else even happening? Like, what was going on back then?
like I said before, I think that like a lot of people nowadays are forgetting what it was like back then. They don't remember like what the political scene back then looked like. And your content, you, Chris, and at least as far as what comes to mind, I think there were some other figures that made like content, and I don't want to say the skeptic community, we'll just say anti-SJW side of YouTube, to be as broad as possible, that were also pretty left-leaning and like pretty distinguished from like Sargon, for example.
Yeah.
I think there was Second Clancy, I was a pretty big fan of. He was pretty cool. Like there were a few other people, but for the most part, I think you and Chris Raygun were the largest. And I feel like you and Chris, mostly you nowadays, ironically considering it's from the left and, you know, it's particular amount of harassment being sent towards you and you're a woman, and Chris, you know, made basically the same content back then. And yet he doesn't seem to get that much shit anymore. So I'll point out the irony
out
there.
of politics, that's the thing.
That's true,
I'm
yeah,
like
he doesn't really get
diving head
involved.
first into it, and Chris just kind of like, sometimes he'll make a political thing, or like a joke or whatever, but most of it, he's just like kind of a video game guy now, which is good.
Yeah.
His content's good, but...
Thank God he escaped before, well, it was fun. He escaped before politics stopped being fun.
Yeah.
I remember like the self-deprecating humor and the I want to die humor from the like that age of content, talking about like I want to die at a feminist BuzzFeed video. 2022 comes around. Now you really want to die. Now it's not a joke anymore.
It's not a joke anymore, exactly. No, but it's just so funny, like, it was innocent when, like, you watch these videos and it was, like, innocent. Because it was, like, okay, first of all, why the fuck did they push, like, the man-spreading shit so much? Remember that? People who weren't around back then probably don't know this, but that was everywhere. And it's like, what was that? Was that a psyop? Were we psyoped?
I feel like it could have been, but I genuinely believe that at that time, on the internet, the predominant, like, left-wing audience online was, like, the Tumblrites. Like, it was a very, like, Tumblr-esque, like, area of the internet, and I think at that time, they're just... like, that age of content online favored edgy humor. Like, that was the iDubbbz Filthy Frank era of the internet. So just being progressive in the first place, you're going to be more sensitive to that type of stuff. And the content creators who were on the left that came out, like, you know, you know, I don't need to list them, but like Milo Stewart, Riley J. Dennis, for example, like when they came out and made content, there was a perception that they were arguing against the right for people to engage in like edgy humor or to have their freedom of speech, etc.
Yeah, like,
at least that was the perception.
Yeah. No, these people were like lightning rods, like Riley and Milo, Stewart. Because, like, at the time, it was like, we see these people all the time all over the internet. But it was, like, rare when we would, like, make videos. And it was like, holy shit, you're the stereotype we're mad at. Like, fucking get 'em. And, I feel so... like, Milo and Riley and all that shit, that's the one thing. Like, I regret going after, like, these people. I never went after... Well, I kind of did. I never made, like, a whole video about it, though, but I would, like, talk about them. And, I remember the one thing I regret is just, like, going after them and being, like, you know, like, what even are you? Like, there's only 2 genders. Like, alright, bitch, chill out. Like, so I winded up, like, apologizing to Riley, Milo, and Zoe Quinn, like, personally, But like everything else, like that I've done, like that shit it just didn't age well because now it's like lame jokes. But that shit was annoying that we laughed at. If
Yeah,
you
I mean,
watched
like,
it, that shit was fucking annoying. I don't regret laughing at that.
Genuinely, like like you were here for it, but like on stream, we all went back and watched some of the like stuff that Chris Reagan and Shoe made fun of back in the day, and like I mean, it was bad. The stuff they were reacting to was bad. Like, it's
like,
worth
they didn't
calling
even
out.
try. It's like, what is
Yeah.
this? And there
The
was
fact
no,
that
like,
manspreading was ever a thing the left like pushed as a serious problem is
and it was
embarrassing
like,
to
and
me.
it was like everywhere too. It wasn't just like, oh, you know, because like nowadays, if we see something cringe, it's just like, oh, it's over in a day. Because we see like 10 cringe things happen every day. We're like overstimulated now. But back in the day, it was like, yeah, this manspreading thing is now going on for 2 years. You like can't escape articles, videos. It's like, I don't know. I think it was just a CIA psyop to weaken the left to make room for Trump.
I'm actually curious because I've got a lot of people watching right now, so somebody's got to know for sure. The video, does anyone have a link to the video? It's like supposedly it's Russian feminists throwing watered down bleach onto men's crotches who are manspreading on the subway. I remember hearing that it was faked.
Yeah, it was fake.
Yeah, okay, because I know like a ton of people covered it, but I don't know if you covered it, but I know a bunch of people covered it, and like the litmus test that I ended up having in hindsight on who I thought was like acting in good faith were the people who like went back and corrected themselves or took their previous videos down on that. Like I remember that was like a
so I remember debunking it. And Armored Skeptic, my ex, made a whole video about how it was fake.
Oh yeah, that was how I learned it was fake.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I watched this video, yeah.
Yeah, so we were on top of that. We knew it was fake, but a lot of people fell for it. It was very embarrassing. But
yeah, but it's like the fact that
out of the norm though. Like that was something that would have happened.
That was something that was not that was so in the realm of possibility in our minds that we're like, seems legit to me at this point. Fucking hell. The manspreading thing was wild. You know what was like a really stupid talking point that I would hear a lot? That was like the left was just tossing around constantly. That was so goddamn bad. Was the I'm trying to remember what did they call it? It was a maybe you remember. It was it had to do with like the Bechdel test, I think, where like there was this argument being like the Bechdel test on a surface level can be fine, but like there was this thing that was being pushed back then where like any movie that doesn't have that it's a sexist movie, and I was like, don't say it's a sexist movie, just maybe you could use that to point out that like, hey, you know, look at how often two male characters talk to each other about Yeah, I hate how the left, or I guess the left back then online, not so much anymore sometimes though. I really dislike the strategy of that thing you like is bad and you're a bad person for liking it. I don't know why they've been like, that's just been the go-to strategy, but that just, people don't like that. Even Anita Sarkeesian said it's okay to like a piece of media, recognize it's problematic, and criticize it. You know, I'm actually curious. What are your thoughts on? I know you apologize to Zoe Quinn, so I assume that your thoughts on them are probably positive. But what are your thoughts on Anita Sarkeesian and Zoe Quinn? Just I guess 5 years later, 6 years later now. Zoe Quinn, I actually talk to sometimes. They're pretty chill, and like, we talk about Gamergate, actually, which is funny. Anita Sarkeesian, I still really don't like her, but I haven't seen anything from her in a few years. Like, I liked her partner, I don't know if they were dating or whatever, John McIntosh. He was funny back in the day, but like, like, to like make fun of her or whatever. But he actually has a channel now, I don't know if he's still uploading on it, and he would like critique media, and he did like a really good video on like, male rape jokes, like prison rape jokes and stuff. That was pretty I remember here. So the channel you're talking about is really good. I forget what it's called, but really good video like media review content. I remember him from Full Macintosh. I think this is like Chris Reagan that did the meme. Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! You just went full Macintosh. Yeah, I remember that. That's what like immediately.
Had terrible takes. He was like the quintessential like male feminist ally back in the day. Yeah, he was pretty bad. He was like he talked about how like he went to see like Superman versus Batman or something in theaters. And he was like disturbed by the masculine energy or something. I forgot what it was. It was really dumb. But that was like his YouTube is okay though.
Nowadays, no guy on Twitter would ever dare to tweet something so soy.
No.
As like I watched this movie and the masculine energy was too much for me.
Okay, we did our job. Come on. Now people are scared to be called soy if they have terrible takes.
I think
our job is done here.
I think like I'm worried like that so many people on the left, especially younger people on the left, like on TikTok particularly, they are, you know, how like if they're 13 to 14, like the age where you're likely to be pulled to any side of a very radical political thing. So TikTok right now is obviously churning out a shit ton of super radical young left-leaning people and a shit ton of super radical young right-wing people. Those motherfuckers were not alive for Gamergate, or they were alive for it, but they were not human beings basically around the time of Gamergate. They don't know like what happened back then, and I feel like it's going to lead to a very similar set of events occurring all over again, sort of in a cycle. And I was like actually curious overall what your thoughts were on that.
So like you think like a big event is going to happen, it's going to be like a Gamergate but on TikTok or something?
Not TikTok. I think
I know what you mean, just like the internet.
I think right now the most analogous thing to Gamergate going on right now is probably the Twitch like streamer stuff going on right now, particularly with like Pokimane and female streamers. I think the whole idea of like female streamers lying to their simps to get money, yada, like that has pushed. I feel like that's warped internet culture a lot. You're constantly hearing about that. I feel like something involving that could be the push. Like all it would take would be like the right scandal with Pokimane or like Valkyrie or something, and boom, you've got yourself a new Anita Sarkeesian. That's my theory.
I think that might happen. I mean, if it does, you better get on that and have some good takes that will be better than like our old takes, I guess. You know what I mean? Like cover
as far as takes go, like here's the thing that a lot of people don't remember, because even like people on the left now who don't remember what things were like back then criticize you and especially you for this. But like look back to like 2015, 2016, most people on the left didn't even agree that there are more than two genders, okay? Yeah. Like that was just a radically insane idea to have. If you believe there were more than two genders, you were a SJW full stop, because how could there be more than two genders? How? Like the idea of gender and sex being different things would never even come to mind. It's just so intuitively, it just makes so much sense to say that's something evidently ridiculous. That information, that knowledge that we now know as to, you know, why there could be like non-binary people, and that's a valid thing. That just wasn't really evidently available to a lot of people back then. Yeah. Now it is, like, but you know.
The funniest thing was, I would say it too, one of the funniest, like, what the fuck is non-binary thing was always like, how are you a they? You're not multiple people. Like, you fucking idiot. Like, you use singular they all the time, and literally it was ContraPoints, actually. We hung out in real life, and she was non-binary at the time. And, like, I talked to her, and she kind of explained it in a way I got. But, yeah, there was... people were very confused about that.
Yeah,
that was, like, a new thing. It really was. And people were just like... Well, I believe in two genders, and I believe that there's trans men and trans women, but that there's no such thing as a third gender.
Yeah, that was the common talking point back then, and it reminds and I'm saying it, history repeating itself. The xenogender discourse reminds me so much of that. I don't know.
Like, yeah, honestly, I don't know about the xenogenders. I don't know how some of those things can be implemented into real life, but if someone wants to be called it or Z or whatever, I'll call them it, but I think that one's a little different, honestly, because we already use they, them in English. We already do it all the time. Someone dropped their wallet. You don't know whose wallet it is, you're still they, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
like,
calling a human it's, I think that's gonna take some time.
Yeah, I think like the super radical gender abolitionist sort of idea is probably sort of inevitable. I don't feel like human society, if we're going to ever reach luxury gay space communism, I feel like by the time we've gotten to that Star Trek future, there's just like the concept of gender as we know it, not sex, but gender as we know it, I feel like maybe eroded to a degree where we have a whole different conception of identity. Maybe it's more of a nickname type of thing, right? Something more individualistic.
Wouldn't all the different pronouns and stuff start making boxes for other genders, though? I feel like if you're a gender abolitionist, you'd almost be against this in a way, because it's like basically you're making more, quote, genders instead of like getting rid of them. So like some people I know some non-binary people who almost feel like they have to be a certain stereotype to come off as non-binary, like they have to, look androgynous or whatever. So I've always thought, like, are these things making people fit in more boxes instead of less? It's an interesting thought. I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, I've wondered about that a lot too, and I guess the understanding that as far as I've been explained, the idea behind it is more so to allow people the freedom to ascribe themselves more broad, sort of like, for example, like you could use that same logic on like non-binary people, like, oh, you say you're you're non-binary, or you're not, like, you don't fall into the gender spectrum, but now you're just basically a third gender. You go by they, them, you use different pronouns, and you go by non-binary. Isn't that just basically a third gender now? So what do you try? Like, yeah, people, you could use that logic there too. Here's the thing about gender. It's stupid and makes no sense because it's something that we made up. It's something that we made up when we were monkeys exploring the savannah, and our only concept of human biological sex was looking at the baby that was just born in our tribe, seeing whether or not it had a penis or a vagina, and then just having the base concept of, okay, well, the humans born with penises tend to be stronger than the ones born with vaginas, so we'll designate work roles and whatnot based on that. That's more or less how it came about, and it's not very consistent, and it doesn't really make sense.
All right, let me ask you this question. This is interesting. I talked about the chat with it, the Twitter chat. All right, if a straight person, like let's say a straight man, a straight man dates a non-binary person who presents as femme. Does that make the straight man pan?
I joked about this for a while. So pansexual means that you are attracted to more gender identities than yourself. So like or than the one that you identify, than the opposite gender identity than yours, at least from my understanding. Generally, pansexuality tends to assume that you are also attracted to your own gender. But for the most part, I think if you're like a straight guy and you're attracted to women and like AFAB, femme, NBs, then I think you can just kind of go along the lines of straight, right? Because clearly when you're not attracted to women because they go by the pronouns woman. Do you think your
non-binary person would like be offended if you went as straight and they were trying to be like non-binary and they were like, no?
I think that it would be
Sorry,
really
I'm really
worrying
high,
to
so
me.
this is like...
No, I love this. I'm high too. This is perfect. This is the best conversation to have while I'm high. Right. I think that if you're if you want to be in a relationship with somebody and they are offended by your identity, your sexual like identity, and they say you thinking that you're straight because despite you being attracted to me and I'm non-binary, that bothers me. If they have such a problem with like how you identify sexually speaking, that seems like a red flag to me.
Yeah,
I feel like
this is like a bad relationship. I was just trying to
I know, yeah.
Think about
On a philosophical level, I'd say that most when we talk about human attraction, whether or not someone's straight or gay or pan or whatever, we just like how people conflate sex and gender in the discussion of like the trans issues, I think they do the same thing when it comes to sexuality. I think that for the most part, people are attracted to like sex more than they are gender, and like I think. Or even certain characteristics like femininity or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that like AFAB NBs who present femininely probably are like, yeah, I mean, straight guys would obviously be attracted to me. I present femininely, and that's generally what they're attracted to. It's not like I'm not attracted to women because they go by she, her pronouns. Like, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I was just wondering. It's interesting. But technically on pan, I hate this thing where it's like, all right, here's my hottest take. Bi and pan are the exact same shit. Just pick which flag you want, basically. Because, like, bi people... Like, I don't know a single bi person who's like, no, I wouldn't date an NB. Like, I don't know. I would date someone who is non-binary. Does that make me pan? Like, I don't know. It's, like, the same shit to me. But I choose the bi flag just because I think it's cute.
Yeah, but bisexuality sort of seems to presuppose that gender is a binary. Like there is only two options, you know, like
so do you
woman
think
or man.
Eventually it's going to be like problematic to identify as bi?
Yeah, I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be, but yeah, I mean, of course it will be one day. Like if there's going to be a point where like I think that you're going to see like a pushback against like the trans community online one day, having to do with like you're going to see like, you know how like TERFs that are lesbians will say things like we don't want trans women in our spaces trying to intrude in our identity or whatever. I feel like you're going to see the same thing but with bisexual people versus like trans people saying that like or non-binary people insisting that bisexuality implies the existence of a binary.
Interesting. I've seen some people talk about that. Very little, like old Tumblr screenshots basically, but I haven't really seen anyone pushing to that. Knock on wood, inshallah, it doesn't happen. I will really dislike that battle.
I feel like things I really hope that we do see that wave that I was talking about, because I want to see how it goes differently this time around when there actually are left-wing people on the internet making content that are at least somewhat, you know, able to defend their positions, you know, because the talking point was always that the left was too afraid to debate. And frankly, that was true. Like outside of like maybe Sam Cedar and whatnot. And like maybe, I know Michael Brooks, I think, debated. Like I know that obviously Ben Burgess debates, and they've been around for a while. But like besides like them, and they don't do the culture war shit, the narrative was always the left is too afraid to debate.
And then fucking Bosch and you and all these people happened. And then you see all the skeptics from years ago who would be like, oh, the left's too afraid to debate. Now, like, we're not going to debate BreadTube because we're not going to give them the attention. It's like, all right, so all that was bullshit. Good to know. Yeah.
You'll notice, by the way, if you look at the trends for just about every single left-wing, like BreadTube, whatever left-tube channel, around the time when Sargon and Styx Hexenhammer and all that basically ceded the victory to like Vosh on all that and said, we're not debating BreadTube after they got blown out. Around that time is when all of the left tube channels and just BreadTube generally seemed to peak. And I think that was probably where like I think the left was on top in terms of the online culture war type deal. And I think now we're starting to see the pendulums shift, and I think it's going to go back. I think we're going to see another runaround of that again. I think we're probably going to see
this time I'm fucking ready though. And not an idiot.
Next I think how old's Nina Turner? Can she run yet? Do you think she's gonna run in 2028?
I hope someone who's not fucking Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris runs. Or people it's gonna be one of them. It's gonna be fucking one of them. John Ossoff's pretty cool. He's like young and like he's a fucking
Ossoff seems cool, yeah.
He's just like kind of a regular like Dem, but like I don't know. I'd rather him than Pete Buttigieg. Like,
yeah. Have I told you about my? I feel like you and I could really just have a great laugh about my mom. She is just the textbook definition of a liberal. Okay, just the textbook definition of a liberal wine mom. It's insane.
My mom's just like a boomer Democrat. so was my dad, sort of. My mom, like, voted for Hillary because she's like, you know, we should have a woman for president. Like, there would be less war. Like, okay, mom. And then my dad is the kind that, like, voted for Bernie in the primaries and then voted for Trump. That's just
Yeah.
yeah. But this time he voted for Biden. They both voted for Biden.
I'm not surprised by that. I feel like your dad was just like, God, no one who's establishment.
Yeah,
just,
like
yeah.
he was like me though, like
Yeah.
but like
That was like the idea back then. There was just so much after 8 years of Obama and just the Democratic establishment
just
absolutely throating Obama's cock no matter what he did, no matter no matter how much shit he did wrong. Like it pissed off a lot of like more progressive lefties, Shoe0nHead and Chris Reagan included. I know I'm speaking for them right now.
Yeah.
And that led to like this very, very anti-Hillary Clinton sort of vibe, even among a lot of left-wing people, especially among Bernie's voter base, of which, you know, Shoe and Chris fall into.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I hate her. She's a fucking demon. She smells like sulfur.
She is probably a demon. She smells like sulfur.
Yeah. No, I was in DC actually, like 2 days ago. I stayed in the Trump Hotel with my friends.
You did?
Yeah, it's technically not owned by him anymore, but it's still the Trump Hotel.
Yeah, they just have the name on there.
And yeah, like literally right across the street was the Capitol. And every night I like woke up with like a coffee, just looking at it like, soon it shall fall. Like
no. Wait. Not on my stream. Not on my stream.
No, I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that. No, I was just like, fuck, these people suck in there. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. The Trump Hotel's so fucking like bougie and gaudy for like no reason. And it was like the hotel from The Shining. Nobody was there. The halls were like quiet and empty. Everything had fucking gold on it.
Didn't you like tweet loving the view of the brothel across the street?
Yeah, it's a fucking brothel full of corporate whores. That's what I called it. No offense to the brothel women. They do a great job. They should not be compared to politicians. I am so sorry.
True. Honestly, sex work is a more respectable profession than YouTube and streaming for sure.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying it.
Yeah.
All right, that's my hot take.
Are you kidding me? Yeah.
And I'm pretty 99.9% of sex workers work harder than I do at this fucking job, okay?
Yeah.
Ask Shu if she likes the Book of Boba Fett. Have you seen the Star Wars show?
No, I have not.
I've seen the first episode.
Is it good?
It's all right. I mean, it doesn't really like hold my attention. It's like you want it to be a lot like The Mandalorian. That's what I think a lot of people hope for.
The Mandalorian, yeah.
Because The Mandalorian's great. It's like The Mandalorian, but about 5 times as boring.
Mm-hmm. That's not
good. Yeah, it's not good. Like The Mandalorian's pretty slow paced, but it's like the perfect amount of slow pace to like action. Book of Boba Fett turns it down a bit too much for me.
Mm. No, yeah. So, the sex cult. How's it going?
Yeah, we're actually working on building the mansion now.
Yes.
Yeah, and the hot tub and the Olympic-sized swimming pool is currently under construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually going pretty well.
No, I just saw LonerBox in chat, and I gotta say to LonerBox, I blocked him like months ago because I just like assumed that he was someone else. I thought he was like some right-wing person from years ago because someone had a very similar username.
Oh.
I was like, oh fuck this guy, he's back, and I blocked him. So I'm sorry, LonerBox, I unblocked him. And I was like, Vosh was like watching one of his videos one day. I'm like, oh wait, this is a different guy. Oh shit. So
a case of mistaken identity. Yeah, it is really, really nice to have like a chill stream and just have people on chat. I've really enjoyed this. I'm glad. Thank you for coming on. Is there anything else you want to talk about? Because some people wanted me to bring Fawn in. ThoughtSlime, yeah. Is there any any memes?
Quick, just really quick. So like, all right, I haven't liked ThoughtSlime for a very long time, and I'm very glad that everyone's dunking on them now because I was holding it in. I was like, oh, everybody likes this person. He acts all wholesome. I'm not gonna dump him. That fucking channel's like watching Blue's Clues for leftists. You guys like? I just like like every fucking video is like, hello, my goofy goobers, gubble of a dub dub. Yeah, it's like, what the fuck are you saying? And every other joke is like, awkward. It's like, oh, I hate this shit. Anyway, sorry, I just need to say that.
Yeah, ThoughtSlime's sense of humor really does encompass everything I hate about the left, and like the sense of, and lefty humor.
It's like when someone's like, you can be PC and funny, check this out. It's like the most unfunniest shit you've ever seen. But like, yeah, that's ThoughtSlime, so that's all I had to say about that.
Shoe being ableist? How?
How the fuck am I?
Although,
why?
to be fair, criticizing ThoughtSlime is ableist.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say, is that just... Yeah, no, that's funny.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on today. It's been pretty pog. If you, in the future, if you want to come on and talk about, like, because I'm sure that we could probably set up, like, a specific topic that we could discuss.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever want to come on for, like, a more official, like, I guess, doesn't have to be an interview, but discussion in the future on a specific topic, like, even what people have been, like, begging me in my comments to do is, like, a video where you and I go on, like, a nostalgia trip over, like, old stuff from, like, the classic, like, Gamergate days.
I would love to do that. I can find videos. I can find good ones.
Yeah, people have been begging me for that. That could be a really good stream.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's been really fun having you on. I think hold on. Yeah, I think somebody wanted me to bring on Fonchild in the chat, but yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your high.
Yes, I have to go work now. So yeah.
Alrighty.
All right,
Well,
bye
have a good one,
guys.
Shu.
Bye Zen, bye chat.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. That was a fun combo.